think we're making a difference. In the end of the day, we're both about customer service. I mean, obviously we're very different organisations, but the major outcome for me is that we're dealing with a segment of customers who are low income and vulnerable. They're not in a position necessarily to be able to work their way through without some support. So I'm really proud of the work that we've done to help them through that. And Kildonan has provided us the skills and the techniques and the infrastructure and the training and the communication to be able to do that. So at the end of the day, it's okay to say we've won an award, a Prime Minister's Award, which is fantastic from a media perspective, but what we get every day is feedback from customers on the way we deal with them. You know, you're different. I can't believe you're listening to me. When I tell you something, you believe me. No one else does. I ring other utilities and they don't believe me that I can't afford to pay. You listen. To us, that's like gold. That means that the program is working. So it's very much about a personalised approach. And for us, the major benefit of Kildonan is to bring that skill set to our team. I think it's also provided some great returns for us. We're collecting money that arguably we wouldn't have collected before. A lot of businesses think that you're going to get thousands and thousands and thousands of people trying to play a game. I think with the training that Kildonan's provided us, that we've found out that that's not actually factual. What Kildonan's provided for us is a level of thinking which makes us understand that most people genuinely want to pay. They just can't afford to pay. So how do you deal with it? So it's really about providing us with a really strong skill set.
Origin first got involved with the Kildonan around 2003. We knew that we wanted to do something with our vulnerable customers, but we didn't know what. And Kildonan are one of the most vocal consumer advocates that we found. One of the primary principles of our Power On programme, which is we should accept what customers say to us in good faith and afford them support without qualification. I've never met anybody who doesn't want to pay their bills. If you don't have cash to pay your bills, the example I always use is if you go into Coles and you swipe your card just after you've been paid, so you know there's money in your account, and it goes, it's not the most wonderful feeling in the world. Anxiety, embarrassment. So I could never make the correlation of anybody who would actually willingly put themselves in that circumstance. Customers that have got chronic payment difficulties, helping them with their energy bill is only fixing a little bit of it. They've got several other debtors, and the Kildonan workers can take a more holistical position with regards to a particular customer's circumstances and look to help them navigate through the various challenges that they're experiencing so they can get to the point of self-reliance at the end of it. And that's been a great success in that programme. So much so that certainly the Victorian government has actually legislated that all retailers must actually offer an energy audit as an aspect of their support programmes. Basically, and it's old language, but treat customers the way you expect to be treated yourself.
Families that come to Strengthening Families might have a range of complex issues. We examine with them what their goals are, what they think they need help with. So it may be that we will help refer out to other services that are more specialised. We can advocate for them, and then the other work might also involve direct work with them. So a bit of therapeutic kind of work where we're helping the family to strengthen those relationships in the home. So the Men's Behaviour Change Program works obviously with men that use violence in their relationships. The men can have one-on-one counselling, and when they're ready and they've acknowledged their own violent behaviour, they are invited and they can be part of a 12-week group. The men might talk about what their childhood was like, or understanding their own patterns of violence and the triggers, and understanding the cycle of violence. And they also talk about the impact on families and the impact on the children's development of their violence. It's really quite a moving program actually, and you can go and observe. Brett encourages observers, and sitting in that group and watching some of the stuff that happens with those men is really amazing, and especially if you see the group at the start of the 12 weeks and then go and see them more towards the end of the 12 weeks. I find it really, it's really dynamic, really special, that program.
I am the Program Manager for Youth Services, and I oversee the Youth Services team. So we provide programs that are really tailored and issue specific, as well as more general and open programs that give young people positive experiences of themselves. So they, we have one young guy in the program who gets in a lot of trouble basically in every other realm. But when he comes here, we think the world of him, he helps us set up, he loves us, and he's a great kid when he's in the program. So, the police know about him. He's in a lot of trouble in a kind of lots of other worlds of his, but in this program he has a really positive experience. I think Kildonan changes the lives of young people and their families in a range of different ways. So whether that is by doing an awesome art competition and providing young people an opportunity to display and celebrate their art and their skills, I think what comes with that is a stronger sense of self, some validation of their strengths, of their expertise that can otherwise be missed, particularly in contexts of education settings if young people aren't doing art or pursuing those sorts of avenues. By young people having a positive experience of themselves, by having some informed choices, that opens up a range of doors of things that they can choose to do or not choose to do. We all have the right to make choices.
The fact that we're 128 years old, there's been some amazing things that happened early on, and people like Selena Sutherland had an amazing vision to do what she did all those years ago. I think we need to really look forward for the next 128 years.
Kildonan's Youth Service provides quality service. The team work phenomenally hard. We produce phenomenally positive outcomes for young people and their families.
When I work at Kildonan, it really resonates with my values. And we actually, really deliver on what we say.
What we have to do better is to understand that we can't do it alone, that in fact it's not just the community sector, the community services sector that's responsible for the wellbeing of children and families, that it's a collective responsibility. And if we want healthy, happy families, that it's the for-profit and the not-for-profit sectors that need to come together and collaborate.
The energy industry has changed and made significant progress, but nothing else has. So if we're actually dealing with a customer and helping them with their energy, the banks might be still trying to take their pound of flesh. Credit card companies, if they've got a car loan. Right? So in isolation, we can't do an awful lot for a customer's whole circumstances. So what we need to try and do is engage all debtors, all businesses that collect money.
We had local, we had leaders who had, arisen from just being normal people, and they became community leaders. And I was sort of hopeful that perhaps some of the other agencies, some of the government agencies would have facilitated supporting these people, but it wasn't. It was actually Kildonan that did. And that's empowering communities. That for me is what empowering communities is all about.
The diversity in the community is going to increase. The demand for our services is going to increase. But I think we need to ensure that we provide the types of services that people need for as long as they need them.
It might sound simple, but when you're talking about families and what it means for them, whether or not their children are home with them or not, that's really important stuff. So it's a lot of those little gems and simple stories, I guess, that for families and children really means something. Yeah.
For me, I guess Kildonan is options in life. And I just can't emphasise that enough. When someone's back against the wall, it's nice to put out your hand and say, we've got some options for you.